Free speech is indisputably a fixture of contemporary politics. Although the precise limit to free speech is a perennial debate for philosopher and policymaker alike, our public debate seems transfixed on this question at the moment. Endless stories related to phenomena like cancel culture and political correctness dominate our headlines, and some of our most pressing social problems revolve around free speech, including mis- and disinformation, a rising tide of populism, and regulating social media companies. But one venue in particular continues to attract disproportionate attention: the university campus. For some, at least, the most significant attacks on free speech are occurring in the place where they ought to be unthinkable, creating an alleged crisis. In 2018 and 2019, Ontario and Alberta embarked upon unprecedented policy changes, compelling post-secondary institutions to redouble their efforts in protecting free speech. My research is an effort to understand the alleged campus crisis. I want to know how latent complaints related to campus controversies so suddenly became fodder for campaign promises and eventual public policy. To do this, I delve into some historical antecedents to make sense of the contemporary moment, which brings us to the University of California, Berkeley campus in the 1960s. Berkeley was symptomatic of campus unrest, but one person was not impressed. He was a former Hollywood star named Ronald Reagan, who launched his political career directly in response to events at Berkeley and paved the way to his presidency in the process. Reagan successfully tapped into widespread dissatisfaction in the California public and turned it into a potent political strategy, one that would pay dividends with a landslide election win in 1966. Subsequently, conservative politicians imbibed similar talking points, and dozens of bills were pitched in state legislatures across the United States seeking to tame campus unrest. So, at the same time that university campuses were solidifying a perception as bastions of debate, dissent, and protest, criticisms of the university campuses were becoming a reliable thread of conservative discourse and politics. But if we turn our gaze back to Canada, something stands out. University campuses in Canada were also bastions of debate, dissent, and protest from the 1960s and on, with strikes, sit-ins, protests, and riots. Canadian politicians criticized what was happening on campus, media dutifully reported on campus events, and public opinion was rarely, if ever, sympathetic to the plight of student activists. The difference, then, is that public policy was never explicitly pitched in response to what was happening on campus. So how can we understand this difference? I offer a framework for understanding the politics of free speech on campus, what I call the campus crisis feedback loop. It is comprised of 4 mutually reinforcing phenomena, including campus unrest, sensationalistic news and opinion, dissatisfaction in public opinion, and efforts to channel such dissatisfaction politically. Using this framework, we can see that the policy changes in Ontario and Alberta led to a final closing of this feedback loop in Canada, significantly borrowing from the American experience and drastically changing both the politics of free speech in Canada and higher education policy going forward. Thank you.